Hello and welcome to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. My view of humanity is a whole new tea. Hi, hello, how are my royalty? Oh, what are you going to be sipping on today? But yeah, we're going to get really petty today. More dating nightmare political wise, you know. But if you're new, I am the political liberal, Democrat, progressive. Oh, shall I say? Yeah, I'm woke. Yes, I am the Republicans' least favorite word. They don't know the definition of it, and they don't really know where it, really, they don't know the history behind it. And they don't want to open a book and learn about it. And they're too busy banning books that will allow them to be empathetic, sympathetic, compassionate, and have a heart. They kind of remind me of the Grinch since the holidays is almost up. But yeah, theirs is all year round though. But anyway, so I got a new message on one of the dating apps yesterday. Well, I'll say that over the last week. It was I think a few days ago, but I don't check it every day. And it's, oh my gosh, it slowed up over the last 5 or 6 months. No, actually 6 or 7 months. Yeah, once his second term started. And it's really funny that a lot of the Republicans that stream, whenever I would stream, and they would try to come and like put me down or call me swear words because I'm a Democrat and I'm a Democrat who will not date Republicans. So then they would try to debate with me. And oddly enough, almost every single point I brought up, and then they called me the R word or the stupid or idiotic or naive or ignorant. Everything I've said has come true. Almost every single thing I was right about. It feels good. It feels terrible that people were ignorant enough to vote the way they did so that we now have to live what I said would happen. But they surely stopped writing me for the most part. I get maybe one or two a month now. Yeah, that's how much it slowed down. Yeah, at least on Meet Me Scout and oh yeah, I don't even. It's really funny because all three of them are connected. It's with the streaming portion especially. Most of the Plenty of Fish guys, they don't even bother. They kind of did at first, but most of them were trying to tell me that as a woman on the dating app that I can't have standards because as a woman I am supposed to be willing to meet the men on the dating app even if they don't meet my standards. Do you know how many men have said that? Especially Republican men or men who've been in prison, and the thing is there are some great men that they broke the law and they made mistakes and they got in and they got out. But personally, a lot of I used to be you know what, they turned over a new leaf. But for me personally, I can't. I can't again. No, because so many of them then try either they continued making the mistake that they went in for, or if you guys have been listening to my episodes, I've mentioned it a few times, but yeah, go back to the breadstick episode when Mr. Lakaki took me to Olive Garden. Yeah, you don't know how many men who have records would on purpose try to get the woman in trouble, even though he did the crime, but then he tries to place it on the woman. And men, even the guy even admits that he's trying to get me locked up because then all of the effort that I put into college and my goals and my dreams are now going to be gone. And now I'm going to be on his level. So then I'm not going to go anywhere because now it's like I'm stuck in it at his level. Because some men just think that I feel like I'm better than them and I don't. But the crazy thing is, they act like I should because of their actions, but I'm not. And when I tell them that I'm not, they don't believe me, and or they still want to hate on me, and it just doesn't make any sense because you're human, I'm human, you know? At the end of the day, you should be treated like you're human, I should be treated like I'm human. And I understand if you made a mistake, if you say that you learned from it, learn from it. And if you think in order to keep a woman, you have to trap her into the system, that says a lot about you. And it even shows that you never really learned from your mistake. Because if you're going to like capture or trap a woman within your situation, well, and you hate your situation, but now you want to force her to hate the situation too, that says a lot about you. But okay, I'm going to talk about that later. But, well, just know that I am uploading more pictures for my Patreon. I have hundreds of photos, and I will admit some are repeats or some are at different angles. And some of them are repeats because over the last couple years, or now a few years, because we're about to be at 2026, I would group some of the pictures when I was going to create an episode about something, but then I never got to the episode. So it's like one day you might see those episodes. Now they're going to be blurry when you see them in the episode because now you got to be my Patreon in order to look at them. But yeah, I'm going to have thousands of photos, literally. Right now, I think I have almost 1,000 uploaded, and I have thousands more that I need to upload. It's going to be a very long winter. Yeah, and maybe even spring. But okay, because today I am going to talk about, yeah, the Republicans that have been, or the MAGA Republicans that have been listening to my episodes lately. Ooh, they hate me, but they don't know. Hate tastes delicious in patty. Yeah, yeah, it's, chef's kiss. It's like, okay. It's like, you really want to bring it? Are you sure you want to bring it? Okay. Because there's this one guy on the Meet Me dating app. He decided to write me, and I've been getting quite a few comments lately because I was like, what about if we brought back All in the Family? And a lot of the MAGA people they called me racist because I called like the Archie, the main character, I guess a bigot. And I was talking about him as a MAGA Republican because majority, I didn't say all, I said majority of MAGA Republicans are bigots. And so Archie would be a perfect character to represent that demographic. And especially if you watch the old episodes, back in the day, perfect fit. He's sexist, he's racist, and it's like with his wife, oh my gosh. And it's just like all of the isms, yeah, except for feminism. It's like he is. So, yeah. But yeah, people keep saying I'm ignorant, and I'm like, oh. And some of them haven't even watched the show. And even when I said they can look it up using like, I'm gonna do an episode on how you can use AI and other resources, because like I do research. Sometimes I use AI as a starting source because I'm like, oh, which author should I read, or which professors studied this, and then I can go look up articles on that, and that helps me with some of my research and things. And it's just crazy when there was this one person of color veteran who recently wrote me on the last All in the Family episode calling me a racist. And I'm like, you don't even know the definition of racist because technically, like, if you're gonna call me something, that would be bigot. Like, black people can be bigots, but we can't be racist because you have to look at the definition and the power structure within the racism. So, right there, it shows your ignorance. But yeah, when he kept calling me ignorant, that was another funny thing. But okay. So you already know that, yeah, go check. Yeah, just go check the messages of that episode. It was just a couple days ago. So you're welcome. But then I got it, like I said, I have a new message that I got off the dating app, and it's by Chetty55. I'm gonna have it on Patreon pretty soon. I need to do some more uploads today. I haven't uploaded in a few days because I've been so busy, but here is what he wrote. Just another greedy racist who wants everything for free. And so it's really poorly it mm, they really show how poorly educated and naive and stupid and ignorant and heartless they are when they always want to say that Democrats, independents, or, well, no, it's more like independents, they're a whole different demographic, but Democrat, progressive leftists, that we just want everything for free. And it's like, no, because even with universal health care, it's like you would pay for it through the taxes. And it's like we wouldn't have to go through the nightmare that we're going through right now with, if we lose Obamacare and everything like that, it would just be a system for everybody. And it wouldn't be the type of nightmare where, oh, I just watched a video yesterday where, like, just a couple hours before a woman was supposed to have a surgery for a treatment, and OBGYN type of treatment, the insurance company called the doctor basically saying they don't think they're gonna provide the funds for it. But then they said, oh, we're willing to have a meeting with you after the time that the surgery was supposed to have already begun, but the patient is already in the hospital bed, IV, everything set up and ready. They called the day of the surgery, saying that they don't, in their opinion, they don't think she needs it. They're not doctors. They're not doctors. And trust me, oh, I have had some terrible, awful medical nightmare doctors. Go check out the episode about David Cirilli. Oh, no, George Cirilli. There was another doctor named David that I met, but yeah, George Cirilli. Go check him out. But yeah, he was a nightmare, in my opinion. In my situation, yes. Okay. So a lot of Republicans who say that we want health care for free, but then they don't understand. Like, they didn't pay attention to Bernie Sanders. They didn't pay attention to a lot of the progressives that were talking about, and even financial experts that were talking about how if we had kind of even similar health systems as Canada and a lot of other, independent free countries and things like that, how it's like it would be cheaper. Already we are paying more than a lot of people in other countries. And even for the ambulance, people in other countries laugh at us. When they hear how much we have to pay for an ambulance, they laugh at us. And then again, like in other countries, they don't have to pay for college. Do you know the racism within the college system? How, with some of it, with the capitalism, how they started charging higher and higher prices, or even having, like, yeah, look into that, because there's racism into that. But it's like a lot of MAGA, a lot of Republicans, a lot of people on the right, even some independents, they're tired or they have black fatigue because they don't want to learn and they don't want to realize what black people especially, but people of color, what the black brown community have gone through, have fought through, and they don't want to know our history and they don't want to learn how their ancestors, and even some of them till this day, are in fact the villains. They don't want that. They have to be the hero. Because even when you look at their Prager University like curriculum, even how you look at how they teach about our health system, they try to uplift and say, yeah, ours is perfect, ours is great, ours is better than Canada, ours is better than. It's like, yeah, okay. But when you look at the percentage of people who file bankruptcy because of their health issues, how many people who lose their homes because it's either them staying alive or keeping a house while passing away. Yeah. And that's right. Like, because even, oh, there's that one famous star. I forgot his name, but he was in one of the really popular shows from back in the day. I want to say Dawson's Creek. It might have been, if not, it's like, it's one of those shows. It's a show from that time. Yeah. Because, whew, I think one of the main stars of the show, he's battling something horrifying right now. And it's to a point where he has to sell some of his items from the show in order to be able to afford the treatments. And that's horrifying. That's scary. It's like he was a Hollywood star. It's like he was like, parts of me just wonders how in the world. And also, like, what kind of insurance did he have to the point where now he still has to sell off items? I would have thought he would have had the best health care to the point where he wouldn't have to do what he has to do now. And that's only one of the things where a lot of Republicans or MAGA, like Chetty, they want to say that we want everything for free. Because, yeah, with daycare and education, yes. It's especially like for a lot of women who are moms, they want to work the 9 to 5 and they want to be mothers. But a lot of the Republican men, they don't want that from us. And so even with the time or he tried to call me a racist, and it's like, mm, ouch. Yeah. I think you just hate that I want everyone to be able to have quality of life. I want everyone to have wonderful and beautiful and amazing experiences and to be able to strive for goals that, and also freedom and liberties and things like that they aren't able to do in other countries. And that includes women and black people and people of color and people with disabilities. And I believe free education or free college, and all, especially for trades, because we need more like things built and made, and we need more trades people. And I don't think they get enough credit. And some of the trades used to be degrees, but again, racism. If you don't know the history, yeah, this is one reason we are where we are, is because we don't teach the best of history in school. They whitewash it so much. They don't admit to the past mistakes because for some it's not mistakes. Like right now, you see some of these Republican pastors, they're saying how slavery was not a mistake. Slavery is not a bad thing. Because in the Bible, it wasn't a bad thing, so it's not a bad thing. Yeah. So we really need to look inside the demographic of MAGA, because a lot of them, they love trying to diminish and dehumanize and put us down. And they also love showing how poorly educated they are, because they Chatty tried to call me a racist, and at the end of the day, you can tell he does not know the definition of racist, because everything I've talked about is for the freedoms of everyone. Everyone. And if you've done a crime, black, white, old, young, rich, poor, rich, because within our system, within our, like, our mm, legal wise, because, yeah, when it comes to capitalism, when it comes to capitalism, we have a president right now who's made millions of dollars since getting into the White House. And he's bragged about it and admitted to it as the Bitcoin, to the point where the more you buy, then you can have a private dinner with him. Now creating a private club. I forgot how much money, but you pay the membership fee and you can have private meetings with political people. Yeah, the millionaires and the political people can just talk amongst themselves. This orange man bragged that if he shot somebody in the middle of New York Street, or one of the New York streets, he would get away with it. He said from the top of, he said proudly that he's rich. He can grab women by the kitty. But since he's rich, but now that we're going through the Epstein, everyone keeps saying, oh, Bill Clinton, oh, Democrat, like, oh, the Democrats are going to be so mad. No, we won't. Being a Democrat doesn't mean everybody's innocent in the Democratic Party. Being a Democrat doesn't mean that no one within the demographic is doing something wrong. But even another current event that's just happened, that patriot of a football fan decided to drink while having a gun nearby, and then eliminating his wife and shooting his stepdaughter. He wasn't going to, or because he was a stepdaughter, so he wasn't going to dare shoot his child. Oh. But then whenever they show the colonizing men out there who do crimes, they want to make sure they show him with his family, show him with at the church, show him volunteering or doing good things. Not when it's a black man. Because you didn't even hear about his special candy usage. Yes, he had let's just say he ate a lot of powdered donuts. Yeah, he loved his powdered donuts back in the day. At least, like, I don't know if he got back on it, but yeah. So you don't hear that part until later. But whenever it's a black person, and like when the Black Lives Matter thing was going on, it's like you guys all know what happened. How quickly did they bring up the special candy compared to us having to find out about this, colonizers' special candy usage? Big difference. Because the newscasters made sure that everyone knew with the black man. But you have to be able to, yeah, see, I'm not that lazy. I'm not too lazy. I'm not lazy at all. Because, like, using different resources and technologies, and I'm gonna have it, well, let's just say there's so many episodes I need to go over. And before I forget, my Patreon, I have the free level. Majority of the River of Racism are free, and some of the Dating Nightmare are free, but then the first tier is $2. because I want people, especially on disability or who have a disability and things like that, to be able to still afford. I want to be the single moms or the moms who need some, some petty tea, to be able to look through them freely and things. So, because I know being a single parent is a hard thing, being able to afford the like either rent or mortgage, the bills and food and everything like that in order to make sure your kids have everything they need. I understand. So, first tier is $2 and the next tier is $4. And it's like the next one is probably going to be 6 and 8. And, but it's like, I want them to be affordable. I don't want them being expensive because I want you to be able to live your life and I want you to be able to come back and join whenever you want. And also, sometimes I wonder if MAGA, sometimes when MAGA and Republicans try to call me racist, but then they're calling me racist because I won't date a Republican. They do know Candace Owens is a Republican, right? And then there's those black twins. I think they're mixed actually. But yeah, there's a few channels where there's one where it's a group of four. I believe they're millennial. Either they're young millennial or old zennial Republican men. All they do is try to like put down black women and black people, and like all the Democrats they try to put down, but especially black women and the black community and everything like that. So, and I'm probably going to do a whole episode just talking about black Republicans. And they're like, when I get men to write to me, sometimes like, oh yeah, last week I told you guys. See, because this guy is lazy. He tries to call like, he called me lazy, but he hasn't looked at all of my pictures. He hasn't even looked at many of my episodes because I've come across black Republican men trying to write me. Last week, that one black guy lied because he put liberal in his dating profile. A lot of Republican men are now lying, saying that they're liberal because they know a lot of women will not date them because they are conservative. No, and I talk politics. That's how I get them because they don't expect me to just talk about it. They think I'm just going to believe their profile. Nah, boo boo. No, boo boo. Yeah, I'm not. I ask questions. Then I bother them and annoy them, and then they block me, and yeah, I get a gold star. And I don't always have the screenshots, but I do have the screenshot of the one last week. I have a few of them. I can't do all of them, or I would be having to upload photos until I was gonna probably be 54 years old, and I'm like, no, I don't have time for that. I need to finish a novel or novels and my children's books and my greeting cards and my candles and create the website and everything like that. So, yeah, I don't have time for that. But yeah, I have had Hispanic Republicans, Asian Republicans, Black Republicans all write me. And so when people try to say I'm racist because I don't date Republican men, I think that shows their ignorance and maybe their racism. Because if they think only white people, only colonizers can be Republican, I think that's a trigger. I think that's something that they need to research, they need to look into because their ignorance is not that bliss. Okay, but thank you so much for listening to the Handicapable Black Woman Throne Room. I am a woman, I am of color, and I am handy capable. But most importantly, I am human and you're human too.